4 years before taking on so-called pranic living and breatharianism. So pranic living, do you know what that is?
Yeah, actually I do.
Tell me about pranic living.
All right, I'm going to correct you first. It's called pranic.
Pranic. Oh,
Pranic.
I'm sorry, it's pranic.
It's pranic. Oh my God.
Potato.
I've just spat out my kale smoothie.
Oh my God, it's called the whole thing. Oh, anyway, pranic.
Prana is one of the Eastern religions' energy of life. I think it's the Hindu-ish, Indian, kind of Tibetan kind of dealio. Prana is...
Is that because they don't have food to actually eat in the first place?
Oh, badum-tish. No. But prana is basically the energy of life, and you meditate and you tap into the prana of the world. And pranic living is basically, well, I just need the energy of crystals and, that heebie-jeebie stuff.
Wank shit,
yeah. And kale, apparently.
Pranic living. It gives you the energy that you breathe in and absorb from nature around you. I got to think that this is a bit of a dangerous hoax as to be...
Looks like she's in a city park there. The only thing she's breathing in is carbon monoxide.
Yeah, live on that. Now, it's usually adopted, though, they reckon, by people who are obese. So maybe we should be pranic.
Maybe.
I'm not going to do it.
No.
Those with a BMI of over 30... Hang on, is that you? Is that me?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I'm not morbidly obese. I'm just cuddly.
They reckon the maximum time to be on the pranic diet should be 12 weeks or intermittently 2 to 4 days a week. Now, she's from Minneapolis in Minnesota. Spends up to 3 hours a day focusing on her breath work and mostly lives on teas, juices, and smoothies. Nevertheless, she believes she is breathing in prana when she inhales.
Good for her.
She says that there's something magical about consciousness. Well, that's good because why would you want to be unconscious the whole time? Controlled breathing that brings you with a face-to-face meeting with yourself. It brings you back to the core.
I'll tell you 2 things about this, Sheila.
Yeah.
I've never met her.
And, well, she's sitting here in the park in her undies, in her Calvin Klein's.
Yeah, she's probably got a deal with Calvin Klein or some shit, or wants a deal. She's an influencer, Benny. That's all she is. But I'll tell you 2 things about her. Number 1, because she's in constant ketosis. She's going to have the worst breath you've ever smelled.
Right.
Because
so
that's
she's
the thing.
And that's the thing that when you first meet someone, right, the first impression, you don't get a second first impression, right?
No, and she's a vegan, so she's going to get right up in your grill and tell you all about how she doesn't kill things. Mm-hmm. And her breath's going to stink.
Why is the breath stink on ketosis?
Because your body is actually in fight or flight mode. Ketosis is where you're burning your own fat rather than fats that you ingest into your body.
Yep.
And yes, it's a good diet to put yourself into semi-ketosis. Full-on ketosis is how people that get buried in avalanches and things live for 12 or 13 days before they're found.
Yeah.
They eat their stores of fat.
Sure.
The problem with that is, though, that it f***s up your body chemistry.
Yeah.
And your breath stinks. The other thing I can tell you is that she would fart like a champion.
Breathe that in. That's called recycling.
Pretty much.
Audra.
That's prana there.
Pranic.
Anyway.
Get into it. You know, some things change in this world, and I'm glad that some things don't. And it's been a long time between drinks since this has occurred. Russell Crowe back at yelling at journalists, chucking a shit fit. He had one of his trademark meltdowns
Good
this
on
week.
him. It
was actually at a Q&A event in New York while defending late Fox News chairman Roger Ailes, who he plays in a new TV series, which apparently is amazing, called The Loudest Voice. Now, Crowe was scheduled to take part in a panel discussion about the series, but went off on a tirade when event producers wanted the host to introduce Crowe to the stage in a way that would cast the guy he's playing, a character, in a bad light. But he threw himself into a rage as soon as he heard it, hadn't been pre-approved by his people, refused to walk out on the stage, started screaming at people, and then stormed out onto the street.
Nice.
In New York. Do you think as soon as he's walked out, he would have spotted the first person that said, "What the f*** are you looking at?"
And they would have shot him.
Here is the comparison. He actually does kind of look unrecognisable.
Wow.
Yeah, he does look unrecognisable.
But he's doing the story about the guy who invented Fox News.
Yes.
So he's going to be in a bad light no matter how you paint it.
Well, it is apparently a very, very good program.
It's like the wrestling of news, Fox. It's sports entertainment news. It's not really news, is it?
No, and I sit here and watch it on Foxtel sometimes.
Why?
I don't know, just to see what the crap they're on about. I would love to see an Australian version of Fox
It's called every major news outlet in Australia.
on free to air.
On free-to-air. Any newspaper.
Now, according to the source,
Anyway.
Crowe returned to the building to do a press conference, but did it in the basement. And a producer came down to apologise to him, but Crowe was still fuming. He completely unloaded on the host.
Nice.
Now, a spokesperson for Crowe said that's not correct. Russell didn't freak out. Well, I call bullshit on that.
Russ freaked out. The problem is he would have been made more cranky by the fact that mobile phone manufacturers have been going for lighter and lighter phones in the past. When did he hoik the phone back in the day?
I think it was sometime in the early 2000s.
So there was still like normal phones that you plug into the wall, and they were still fairly weighty, right?
Oh, yeah.
But now, the only thing Russ can throw is the bloody brand new iPhone fart, and it's like a playing card.
Yeah, like
And
a
he
credit card.
Throws it, and it just goes, boop. Where's the fun in that?
It's the nerf of...
It's the nerf of phones now.
It's the nerf of
That's
phones.
why Russ was so pissed.
Well, a spokesperson for Russ said this isn't correct. Russ didn't freak out, and there was no curse-filled tirade. He simply made the decision not to do the interview following the host's intro. They claim Crowe graciously accepted the apology, and I call bullshit. Your better half, which is the person you're technically not married to as, but we won't start that conversation
No,
again.
let's not.
Comes from a little rural town, or has family in a little rural town of Nyngan in New South Wales.
Yes, once upon a time.
Stories out of Nyngan lately would have been the tirade that Shannon Knoll threw at you when you threw a can at him,
Yep.
or at that concert. We've all heard that, and if you haven't heard it, you can hear it on a previous podcast. But a learner driver's copped a raft of penalties from New South Wales Police. He was trying... Now, hang on, before I go into this, what do you think he did? A learner driver out at Nyngan.
Did some circle work,
A
bruh.
bit of circle work, that could be up there. What else?
He had one too many aerials on the front of his 5-poster.
No, well, that's
a hanging offence out there.
That's a hanging offence. No, he was trying to smuggle 29 goats in the back of his vehicle.
Right. Hang on. What's the difference between transport and smuggle?
I don't know, but anyway.
Like, there's goats out there.
I see livestock in trucks all the time and utes and
Pop
people.
a sheep or two in the back of the old ute.
Yep, there's nothing wrong with that. Just before 8
29
a.m. last Sunday, he was in a Nissan Navara on Tottenham Road.
Oh, I know Tottenham Road.
Tottenham Road in Nyngan for a random breath test.
Oh, you would have been over.
Now, they say that we're stopping you. That's what they start first. There's a list of things that they go down to do when there's a stop. First thing is to disguise it as an RBT.
Yep.
Okay.
Then they got probable cause.
So as they were administering the test, the officers observed a number of goats in the tray of the ute.
Well, you can't miss them. They're noisy bastards.
Now, a few checks reveal that the 18-year-old male driver was actually a learner driver who was unaccompanied and not displaying his L plates. There's offence tick number 1. Mm-hmm. Further checks reveal the car had been unregistered since April and the 29 goats were illegally caught.
Ah, the story becomes more clear now.
So, in an effort to get in a dumb criminal story for this week, the goats were released and the driver was issued a series of penalty notices and racked up a hefty fine of $3,149.
That's 950 hot dogs, Benny.
It is. The penalties included being unaccompanied as a learner driver. We know that.
Yep.
Not displaying L plates.
Yep.
Using an unregistered motor vehicle.
Yep.
Using an uninsured motor
Yep.
vehicle. Not completing a stock statement.
Yep.
And unlawfully removing an animal from a public place.
And acting the f***ing goat.
Okay, last one for the speed round. A new breed of super lice are starting to emerge, forcing parents to go to extreme lengths to try and remove them from their kids' hair. I've said this all along about head lice. Just shave their head. That's it.
Yeah, f*** them.
Yep, shave their head, and everyone knew that they had head lice. Burn the sheets at home and all that kind of thing, and then charge them for the cost of doing so. That's all you got to do. But as selfies are now a contributing factor to the transference of these new super head lice.
Super lice. I love it. It's not like super bacteria or super viruses.
It's super head
Super
lice.
head lice.
This could be the new thing that the producers of Sharknado do. Imagine the lice grow so big and they start to eat the host's
And they start
scalp.
getting Instagram accounts for themselves.
Now, listen, you fork out hundreds of dollars to kill these new breed of head lice.
No, you shave their heads.
Well, no. But this is what parents are doing because they've become resistant to popular over-the-counter products. Now, listen, just got to
picture a headline.
Yeah. So
Lucky.
if we say the word nits, then people's heads are going to start itching.
Nits.
Headlights nits. Super nits. Super nits. What about your hair? Are you nitty?
I'm fine. I reckon a good dose of Roundup would quickly fix that, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, you don't
defoliate. Agent Orange, maybe.
Yeah.
That'll teach them for taking selfies.
Now, listen, most people use insecticides. The more prevalent type of this issue will come out because parents are coming in to use a specialised machine at a place, okay?
Right.
That dehydrates and kills these type of head lice. They're panicked that it's going to spread throughout the house.
Well, once you find them, it's too late.
That's exactly right. So there's a specialist clinic set up somewhere that deals with head lice, and it's effective and the costs can build up. The cheapest option is using a conditioner and a comb to manually remove the lice. Other research suggests that essential oils like tea tree oil work well in killing head lice.
Or just allow the kids to have a MySpace account and the head lice will just run away in shame.
Yeah, they will. Exactly right. They're using the wrong type of social media. I don't remember it being an issue in school.
Well, we didn't take selfies, mate.
No, there were no selfies. You took a photo, then you had to wait 2 weeks before it got developed.
And then it was blurry and you had your finger half over the lens.
Exactly right. Selfies, so...
Don't take them because you look like a dick. Now you're going to have an itchy head.
That's exactly right. So if your kids have got the head lice, take the phones off them. No selfies whatsoever. They just look ridiculous. And they're also allowing the super lice ads more time to transfer, to jump ship to the other place.
Well, maybe we could do the bald challenge. Get that going on Instagram to kill off the super lice.
Yeah, so I'm going to go... Yeah, but people shave their head for different causes and all that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, the cause is to stop these from taking over the earth.
Yeah, I would... And look, I'm going to publicly say it right now. I welcome our new super lice overlords, to be perfectly honest. But no, but here's the problem with a selfie. It's not just click and they go, oh, no, can you do it again? Now you're giving the lice time to jump ahead.
Jump ship, yeah.
You know what I mean? It's all about that. Why can't you just be satisfied with the one photo you've taken?
Selfies, not even once.
Nits. Oh, just one more thing, sorry, before we finish up this speed round, Az. One more thing. Are you aware of the prevalence of glitter nips?
Is that like a postmodern rock band from Manchester?
No. Glitter nips is now the new thing that happened at festivals, and apparently women can get away with it.
Right.
Because, well, the breast, the boob, the side boob, the cleavage, it's all acceptable these days in fashion, right?
Who cares? They're just tits, man.
Yeah, I understand that, all right? Blokes can go around with their shirts off and they're not worried about their nipples, although mine apparently are chocolate brown.
And mine are small boyish nipples.
Yeah. Okay, but glitter nips. So at festivals and stuff like that all around the world, it's now the prevalence of young females, not only just young, but old ones, preferably young though, that go to these festivals. And what they're doing is that they're covering up, like I feel sorry for the ones who put black tape.
Oh, the gaffer tits.
The gaffer ones.
Yeah, the little X's.
Now, that's got to hurt when that comes off, does it not?
Well, they're probably at a festival. They're that high, they wouldn't notice.
That is true. But now you can bedazzle your jumblies.
Right, bedazzling.
It's called glitter nips, or some people paint.
Yeah, I've seen a few art installations where, they use the body as a canvas.
Yeah.
And they paint up the titties and you can't tell.
And so they're just walking around, tits out, know.
It's like, honestly, Australia's had tits out for donkeys.
I get it, but it's...
You go down to Bondi Beach, even in the 70s and 80s, and have a look around at some of the photos, there's tits.
Yeah, I understand that, but they're just there. Like, hello, I'm a breast. Look at me.
Yeah, well, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong. But now it's jazzifying and bedazzling.
Well, if you want your titties to look good, then paint them up.
You got nothing against this whatsoever?
I'm fine with this.
I don't have anything against it. I'm just thinking, what is it teaching the children? Someone, please, for God's sake, think of the children.
Well, America's going to explode when they get a hold of this because breasts are like the devil.
Yeah, exactly right. We said that last week or the week before. So anyway, you can have a look on Google for glitter nips because there's photos of it everywhere.
Hashtag risky click.
Let's do one right now. So there's men, but there
Turn safe search off and do it again.
Hey?
Turn safe search off and do it again.
Where's the safe search?
Oh, I don't know. It's in the settings somewhere.
I don't know. Glitter. So anyway, you just have a geese, and you can be able to see women at festivals and all that kind of thing.
Let the boys out. No, not the boys. Let the girls out.
Let the girls out.
Just let them out. Who cares anymore? Like, we've got 56 genders,
But
tits.
But I want to ask though, like at festival, they do it overseas and stuff like that. But at festivals, okay, here in Australia, because we're the nanny state. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they going to allow these things?
What are they going to do?
I don't know. I'm just asking the question whether or not that it's fair that, like, say, for example, if I wanted to jazzify the old fella and go to
Yeah, see, that's a whole different kettle of fish.
Is it really, though?
Yeah, because, like, tits are tits.